Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Time for some more training camp review. That's basically what's going on right now. That's the meat of Seahawks content at the moment. After a long off season, we're seeing these guys get out there on the field and start to show what they can do. They're showing what they can do several times a day, and we're starting to see some elements of this team take form. We're starting to see some things that may characterize this team this year and maybe even down the road it's starting to make itself clear. But one thing that is not yet making itself clear is how the Seahawks view this quarterback battle. Now, I have my own guesses about where things are right now, but when Carroll and Waldron were both asked about what they're doing at the quarterback position, they played coy. Carroll basically blew it off. He didn't offer a concrete answer anyway. And Waldron said they have a plan, but they're not going to make it public. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as there is some kind of plan. And honestly, the best plan in this circumstance is probably let training camp and preseason play out, see who does better, and give that person the job. So, while we are getting some clarity about things with this team, we are not yet getting clarity into the quarterback battle. Yesterday, the offenses were better. The quarterbacks both played a little bit better, I think. And based off what I was able to glean from the training camp session, Locke played better, but I'm not yet getting the sense that he's getting a great odds on taking the job. Drew Lock had, I believe it was a touchdown pass to Aaron Fuller. He had a touchdown pass to, I think it was Ken Walker. He ran for another touchdown. He had some nice things going on there. Gino, he made some nice plays as well. Gino had a touchdown pass to, I believe, Marquise Goodwin. He threw one to Tyler Mabry in a red zone drill. He did throw one interception to Josh Jones. It was a great play by Josh Jones, by the way, and that's worth mentioning because Josh Jones flashed a little bit last year in the last game of the year when we had some injuries at safety. So him showing up like that and making a play on the ball is great. But the thing is, the bottom line for me right now, Gino is still working almost exclusively with the ones, and Drew Lock is working almost exclusively with the twos. As long as that's the case, I don't know how Drew Lock really asserts himself as better. Apparently, he's getting in a little bit of work with like the number one receivers, but he's not getting in work with the number one offensive line or anything like that. So, Drew Lock, it seems like he's starting to assert himself as a competitor for the starting quarterback job, which is great. But until he gets some time with the ones, actually gets to play with the starting offensive line, starting running backs, tight ends, everything, it's going to look to me like Gino still has the inside track. And now might be a good time to start doing that. I'd be very interested to see us start to give Drew Lock some time with the ones because Gino has had a mixed training camp so far, it would seem to me. He's had some good days, had some bad days. I'm not seeing any reason to believe he's suddenly going to become a really good quarterback. So while it may end with him starting anyway, I don't see why you wouldn't mix it up a little bit. But still waiting for clarity on the quarterback battle. I think at this point it's reasonable to say we'll find out sometime before kickoff against Denver in week 1. All right, so some other notes from training camp. Just gonna quickly go through some stuff here that I was able to pick up on. Shout out again to Mass Temple, by the way, for helping compile all this. It looks like kickoffs and punts, which is something that I try to put focus on, because who you have returning your kicks and your punts is important, and it also affects the way in which your offense and defense can consistently play because there's a risk to putting people back there. DJ Dallas looks like he may end up as the kick returner, but Freddie Swain, Cade Johnson, and Kevin Casis are actually making their talents available there so far, and also as punt returners. I don't think DJ has what it takes to be a punt returner. It's a little different. But Freddie Swain, Cade Johnson, and Kevin Casis are the guys who are leading in those areas now. I think that, or I hope, I should say, that Bo Melton becomes that guy, because that's a great opportunity for him to find a way to contribute as a rookie. But as of right now, those are the names I'm seeing. We're still seeing great stuff from the defensive backs in training camp. Artie Burns, he is doing a lot of positive stuff, winning against DK Metcalf one-on-one in coverage. He is showing that he deserves to be here, and I wasn't sure if he was going to make the team. He kind of struck me as a guy who could go either way, but his familiarity with Sean Desai has paid off massively so far in camp, it sounds like. Kobe Bryant has been great as well. He broke up a Metcalf pass in the side of the end zone. He's continued to shine as well. And like I said, the Josh Jones interception on Geno Smith, great play by him. There's some encouraging stuff happening in the secondary, which I like. But the offense was better yesterday, which is definitely something we needed to see. It took a while. We had, it was reported that the first 8 plays in red zone drills did not score touchdowns. So there was one point during this training camp period where we had 18 straight red zone plays with no touchdowns. Eventually they picked it up a little bit. Mabry scored from Geno. Locke scored the Walker touchdown. Locke had a touchdown run. And then when they got out of the red zone drills and started doing more like I believe it's the 11-on-11 stuff, you saw some positive signs as well. The Aaron Fuller touchdown that I mentioned. Marquise Blair had a touchdown from Geno. There's some more stuff to hang your hat on offensively coming out of this practice. It's still not great. The defense played well, but there was only the one turnover, the interception by Josh Jones. So, little bit more encouraging this time around. But on the defense, let's stay on the defense here real quick, because amid all that, there was one thing that I heard from camp yesterday that I really liked, and that was the first mention of pass rush that I had seen. Darrell Taylor and Tyreek Smith in particular played great. And Darrell Taylor we expected, because Taylor's a beast. But Tyreek Smith is somebody who I don't know what we're going to get from him as a rookie. I don't know what we're going to get from him overall. I wasn't in love with his college tape. But I know he has some things that translate to the NFL. But I didn't know if they were going to translate as a rookie. So seeing him on the first day in pads, because this was the first day they were actually in uniform, in full uniform rather, seeing him play really well is definitely a positive sign. Because Boye Mafe, another one of our upcoming pass rushers, I've gone on record saying I don't expect a ton from him his rookie year. Nwosu, I think, is going to play well, but I don't think he's going to be a star. So I am definitely looking at Darrell Taylor to be our star pass rusher. I think he can do it. I think he can be one of the better pass rushers in the league. Maybe not quite up there with TJ Watt, but I think he can be a Pro Bowler for sure. And if Tyreek Smith can help with the depth along with Alton Robinson, that's big too. That was one of the big takeaways for me. The pass rush finally got some attention, and we saw some guys play well. On the offensive line, the only thing that I was able to pick up on really was Curhan is still the starter. So as we move closer to the preseason, it becomes more and more likely Curhan will hold that starting job, which I'm a little surprised by, but I don't terribly mind it because Curhan has experience. Injury notes, there were really only 2. Eskridge was in pads, but he apparently did not get on the field. Supposedly did not actually do anything on the field. So we continue to be on Eskridge watch. The fact that he's in pads is obviously good. If whatever he's going through, if it was really bad, he probably wouldn't even be in pads. But he did not actually do any field work yet, so we continue to, tap our watch, wait for the good stuff to start happening. And I get it. I get it. I'm trying to be patient with this. A lot of people out there are going to be less patient than I am, and I get it. But it's just unfortunate that he has to go through this stuff again. And all I can say is that I hope it gets better quickly and that he's able to start getting work with, Geno's not a new quarterback, but Locke is. And he's going to need all the work he can get because there's a lot going on this receiver depth chart. Behind Eskridge, you have Freddie Swain, who can make plays at least. I'm not in love with him, but he can make plays. You've got Cade Johnson, who I'm really interested in. You've got Bo Melton, Derek Young. I even still like Aaron Fuller. So there's a lot going on behind him, and he's going to get left behind if this keeps up. And also, new injury, Ryan Neal apparently went down, which I think that Ryan Neal was able to define a really good role for him last year when he was a dime cornerback, and I'm still looking at him as the dime cornerback. So in this year, which is a pretty big year for him, I would certainly hate to hear that something bad happened, but I haven't yet heard the severity of the injury. I'm hoping it's not bad, obviously, but the fact that the nature, the way it was described, it's lingering in the back of my head a little bit that something a little significant may have happened, but we'll hopefully find out today. Also, Ugo Amadi did not appear on the field, but no word on him being injured yet to my knowledge. He just wasn't out there. Don't know what it means. All right, so that's the rundown of what I was able to hear from training camp. We have a mock game coming up in a few days. That's always fun. Thought about trying to get out there to actually watch it live, but I don't think it's going to happen. If I do, then hey, never actually been to a mock football game before, but doubt it happens. But when it happens, I'll talk about it as much as I can. But there you go, training camp. Offense looked better. Defense still plays good. I'm encouraged by some of these things. I still think we have some of the same limitations we've been talking about, but some of this stuff is encouraging. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks.